You ever get that weird feeling of pressure right between your eyebrows? Or maybe a gut instinct that turns out to be totally spot on? Well, today we're going to dive into the third eye, a concept that sits right at that fascinating crossroads of ancient wisdom and our own modern curiosity. But what is it really? How do people even work with it? And, maybe most importantly, what are the hidden risks that you don't hear about so often?
This quote right here, this is going to be our North Star for this whole explainer. It's really the central theme because it holds the secret to a safe and, well, a sane spiritual journey. Just keep this in the back of your mind as we go.
All right, so to really get this, we've got to start at square one. What are we actually talking about when we say third eye? And is there any, real biology behind this ancient idea? Let's dig in. Okay, so in yogic and Hindu traditions, the third eye is called the Ajna chakra. Now, a chakra is basically understood as an energy center in the body. And this one, the Ajna, is the sixth primary one, located smack dab between the eyebrows. It's thought of as our command center for perception, kind of a gateway to our intuition, inner wisdom, and what some might call higher consciousness.
And here's where things get really wild, how this spiritual idea lines up with our own biology. This brings us to the pineal gland. It's this tiny, pea-sized gland deep inside your brain. Now, scientifically, its main job is to manage your sleep by pumping out the hormone melatonin when it gets dark.
And this is exactly why so many people call the pineal gland the physical third eye. I mean, get this, it's directly wired to your actual eyes to detect light. It even has cells that are super similar to the ones in your retina. And evolutionarily speaking, in some ancient animals, like certain lizards, it was literally a third light-sensing eye on top of their heads. The parallels are they're pretty mind-blowing. So when this energy center starts to get more active, what do people actually feel? Well, a really common one is that distinct pressure between the eyebrows. Also, a big jump in intuition or foresight. That sense of just knowing things, and a heightened sensitivity to everything, light, sound, you name it. It's usually not some sudden lightning bolt, but more of a slow, steady sense of change.
Okay, so let's get practical. If someone wants to actually cultivate this inner vision, what do they do? Well, there are a whole bunch of techniques out there, and we can pretty much sort them into three main buckets.
The first path is all about working with your biology, not against it. Supporting the pineal gland's natural job is like step one. And that means pretty simple stuff. Getting some real sunlight in the morning to set your body's internal clock, making sure you sleep in total darkness to get that melatonin flowing, and of course, cutting down on that blue light from screens before you go to bed. The second path is more about active, mindful practices. Meditation is obviously a huge one, often focusing right on that spot between the brows, maybe chanting Om or visualizing the color indigo. Certain yoga poses that get you upside down, like downward dog, are used to get more blood flow to the head. And other things like deep breathing or even staring at a candle flame are used to calm the nervous system and really sharpen your focus. And finally, we've got what you put in your body, nutritional support. There's this idea of decalcifying the pineal gland, which basically means helping clear out tiny calcium deposits that can build up over time. So that means cutting back on things like refined sugar and fluoride and adding in stuff like raw cacao for magnesium and specific supplements like vitamins D3 and K2.
So all of these practices sound interesting, maybe even exciting, but, and this is a really big but, there's a crucial side to this story that often gets completely ignored. And this is where we come back to that quote from the beginning about keeping your feet firmly on the earth. We're about to get into the hidden risks of this whole journey.
What happens when you try to blow the roof off a house that doesn't have a foundation? What does an ungrounded awakening actually feel like?
Well, it can be seriously disorienting. Think of your mind like a radio that's suddenly picking up 100 new stations at once and you can't find the volume knob. People report everything from constant headaches and anxiety to feeling totally disconnected from their own bodies. That feeling of buzzing or intense energy rushes can become overwhelming. And maybe the scariest part? It can get incredibly hard to tell the difference between real intuition and just a wild imagination.
This slide just lays it out so clearly. An ungrounded awakening is like a kite in a hurricane, just tossed around, totally out of control. It's all about that buzzing, restless energy, feeling out of it. But a grounded awakening, that's more like a deep-rooted old tree. It can handle the wind because it's stable. It feels like calm, flowing energy. It brings clarity, focus, and balance. One is chaotic, the other is integrated.
And here it is. This is the absolute heart of the issue. The problem isn't opening the third eye itself. The danger is doing it before your foundation is solid, And that foundation, in this system, is your root chakra, the energy center that's all about your sense of safety, security, and your connection to the physical world. It's all about doing things in the right order.
Okay, so how do we build that foundation? How do we make sure this journey is safe and stable and actually helpful? The answer is a practice called grounding, and that's what we're going to cover right now.
Grounding is the essential counterbalance to all this expansive, out there work. It's simply the act of consciously reconnecting to your body, to right here, right now, and to the earth. You can think of it like an anchor that keeps your ship steady, even when the spiritual seas get choppy. It helps your nervous system chill out so you can actually process these big experiences without getting knocked off your feet.
And grounding isn't some abstract idea, it is incredibly practical. We're talking about stuff you can do today. Things like walking barefoot on the grass, which can help discharge that staticky excess energy, or just splashing some cold water on your face to snap out of a spacey feeling. Eating dense foods like potatoes or carrots, or even just doing a simple physical task like washing the dishes can pull you right back down to earth.
And I really want to make this clear. Grounding isn't about stopping or suppressing an awakening. Not at all. It's about building a strong container, a solid foundation, so that these profound experiences have a safe space to unfold and actually become a healthy, sustainable part of your life.
So as we wrap this up, let's just sit with this question for a second. After all this, maybe the ultimate goal isn't really about opening some brand new mystical eye. Maybe the whole point is to finally learn how to see clearly with real wisdom and presence, using the two eyes we've had all along.